This segment was brought to you in part by Sonus Westside and Phonak Hearing Systems.
Have you ever been talking to somebody and you don't understand what they said, so you ask them to repeat themselves, and then you ask them to repeat themselves again, and then you give up and just sort of start nodding? Yes, if this happens to you or somebody you love and you find out that it's happening more and more often, Peter, it might be a good time to get the hearing checked, right?
Yeah.
Yep, we're here with Peter at Sonus Westside in Lake Oswego. How prevalent is hearing loss? How often does this happen?
Well, we know through the Better Hearing Institute that approximately 35 million people in the United States have a hearing loss, and this is not just adults but kids. So it does run that gamut. We also know that about 15% of the Gen Xers have a hearing loss too.
That's a huge number. I had no idea there were that many people living with hearing loss. What causes it?
Well, there's lots of things that can cause hearing loss. We know that there can be conditions in the ear. People are born with a hearing loss. Could be hereditary predispositions, the aging process, medications that people might take, and noise.
Now, I'm going to have my hearing checked. What goes into that?
It's actually very simple. I'll look in your ears, and we'll check your ears out to see how they look. And then you'll go into a sound booth. I'll hand you a little button that you will be pressing whenever you hear a little beep tone. We test one ear at a time. You'll be hearing tones of different pitch and different volume. And all you do is press the button.
And how long does it take?
It's about 5 minutes.
Can people just come in and have it done?
Absolutely. We provide complimentary hearing screenings to the public.
We like complimentary.
We do.
Okay, here are the results of my hearing test, Peter. How'd I do?
Well, actually really well.
Oh, good.
So let me show you. What I do is we separate the two ears. And these graphs that you see here are called audiograms. So the way that they're constructed is that the numbers running across the top represent the tones, the pitch that you heard. So the small numbers represent the bass tones or the low pitches. The large numbers represent the high pitch or the treble tones. Volume runs down the page, going from a very soft to a very loud level. And so where circles or X's are marked are the points where you indicated that you just barely heard the sound for the right and the left ear. And there's a heavy line that runs across at 20 on both sides. Any of those circles or X's touching the line or above it would be considered normal hearing. And so your hearing is really normal.
So I kind of want to keep the good hearing I have and keep it from getting worse. So is there any way to correct hearing loss or keep it from getting worse?
There are certain hearing losses, of course, that can be corrected, either medically or surgically, or sometimes with a hearing aid. With noise-induced hearing loss, you know, it's going to be very important to protect it and use hearing protection devices to prevent it from getting worse. And these actually do a fairly nice job. The Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, has a rating system called NRR, which stands for Noise Reduction Rating. We know that noise is going to be in a certain decibel level, and the NRR is just a single number descriptor. So if, let's say we know that the noise level that you're going to be exposed to is 100 decibels, which is actually quite a lot. And let's suppose that the plug has an NRR rating of 30. You subtract 30 from 100, and what's going into your ear is about 70 dB, which is about where I'm talking to you right now, maybe a little bit.
I love that. I never knew that before.
If you want to get your hearing tested or learn more about hearing loss, you can find Sonus. They're in King City, they're here in Lake Oswego, and they're in Portland. And you can also find them on Facebook at Sonus Westside.